Now, I want to do another example where we're solving an equation with fractions, and it's really just the same as what we've been doing all along, except it looks a little bit more complicated. So let's get down to it. We'll just do the one example here, and I'll get you to practice some of these for homework tonight as well. And I do want you to do, well, I want to do a lot more work with fractions over the coming days. So the first example here is to solve for x. That means find the value of x if I have 1/3 bracket 3x plus 2 minus 4x minus 2 over 5 equal to 3 over 2. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to change this into a single fraction. So I'm going to rewrite the equation that I'm given, because the 3x plus 2, all of that, 3x plus 2, all of that is over 3. And I'm going to keep it in brackets as well. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of this into brackets as well, because the minus that's here applies to the whole term. It applies to the 4x minus 2 over 5, the whole thing of it. And I don't do anything on the other side, 3 over 2. So I rewrite my equation like that, because if I keep writing my equations in a standard way, it's going to be much easier for me to solve it. Then the next thing I'm going to do is identify my common denominator. In terms of exams, even just writing down your common denominator, so you wouldn't get any marks for this, unfortunately, that's just to help us solve it. But the first place you get marks is identifying your common denominator. What is the smallest number that 3 and 5 and 2 all divide into? And unfortunately, it's a big one, it's 30. Okay, where did that come from? That's the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 3, 5 and 2. And because they're prime numbers, it's actually the three numbers multiplied together. So I'm going to multiply this by 30, and I'll multiply this by 30, and I'll multiply this by 30. Then, what did we have to do before? We had to divide in the bottom number. 3 into 30 goes 10 times, 5 into 30 goes 6 times, and 2 into 30 goes 15 times. So now that my fractions have divided in, I'm left with an expression, I'm left with an equation that has no fractions, but it does have brackets. I have 10 bracket 3x plus 2. This is why I put the brackets in, because people might accidentally multiply the 10 by the 3x only. It must multiply the 2 as well. Same thing here, minus 6 bracket 4x minus 2. If I don't have those brackets in there on this top expression, I might not remember that the minus 6 has to multiply both parts of my equation. And on the other side, I've got 15 by 3. Okay, now it's reduced to something very familiar to us. We multiply out the brackets. 30x plus 20 minus 24x, minus by minus is plus 12, equal to 45. Let me just highlight this, okay? A lot of the times people forget that that minus multiplies both things that are inside my bracket. I just want to highlight that because that's a common mistake that people make. Now, a question came up during the week about whether I need to simplify first, add like terms first, and then move, or move and then simplify. It doesn't matter. I just thought maybe it's easier for you to see it if we simplify first. So I have 30x minus 24x, which gives me 6x. I'm going to keep doing it the same way, but you can actually move the plus 20 and the plus 12 over to the other side first if you want to. And plus 20 plus 12 is plus 32, equal to 45. And then it's letters left. Well, the letters are already on the left, numbers right. And if we switch sides, we switch signs. So 6x is equal to 45 minus 32, And you know what? I keep making mistakes in my calculation at the moment. So 13 is what we get. And that doesn't divide in evenly, but that's okay, because fractions are still numbers. I divide across by 6 to get that x is equal to 13 over 6. And leave your answer like that. Just leave it as a top-heavy fraction. There's nothing further you need to do. Okay, so quite a lot of work in an example like that, and I do want you to practice with a few questions that are similar to that for your homework tonight before we move on to anything more complicated. Okay, thank you.